I'm doing my AM skincare in the afternoon, which is super fitting for me because I have become not a morning person anymore since I've moved here, which is really weird because I was waking up at like 5 a.m. back on the Gold Coast, so I guess everything's open later and the sun sets later, so makes sense, but still kind of weird, kind of off-putting on my end. I don't know why, but I went to the gym this morning and did legs and I did some core and stretching. My body felt so fucked, just tense, and I refused to get a massage because I find them, yeah, no, I don't find them satisfying and I don't find them worth the price, because I get like immediately the same tension that I had 30 minutes after I'm done. So personal preference. I am currently getting ready for no reason. I'm going to do some work on my laptop and make myself a little snack. I'm gonna have some Greek yogurt and apples. It's my current weird snack combo. Vanilla Greek yogurt, green apples, dipped. 10 out of 10. I really love it. But my lip has split. I have a really gross pimple and my eyes are covered in sty. So I'm just coming back up from being super run down, but I feel good again. Hence why I went to the gym finally. It's been like a week, I think, since I went last, which I'm trying not to like get upset at myself if I don't stick to a routine right now or I don't make it to the gym. Like, it's not the end of the world. My body's not gonna like magically change back, you know? So 2026, new me, which will last 2 weeks, and then I'll be right back to normal. So it's just me every New Year's. Resolutions don't stick, but we're trying this year. I'm going to see Sentimental Value with Stellan Skarsgård, Elle Fanning, and I don't remember the main actor's name. Whoops. But it looks so good. I go to the movies every Monday because it's cheaper and the cinema's so cute. But I kept seeing the trailer for this at the other movies and I was like, okay, I have to see it. It's very me coded. I can relate to it a lot, I think. Take that as you will. I'm doing red light therapy again. So I can't have anything on my skin, which I have a few spots right now, so that's annoying, but oh well. It's also really hot today, and of course I'm wearing an all black dress.
In hindsight, this day was the perfect temperature. I walked through the gardens, along Moore Street, to my first stop of the day, Hector's Deli, for a much-needed orange juice and a tuna melt, as I had yet to consume anything but coffee. Continuing on from Fitzroy to Collingwood, I once again treated myself to a round of LED light therapy at Little Company, whose space never fails to de-stimulate and relax me. After which I headed over to do a bakehouse for my usual iced matcha and sheer pan.
every day I come here, it's different. Sometimes it's like really nutty. Today it's very flowery, and I prefer the flowery one. I don't know why. I feel like because it adds a like natural sweetness. But I stand this is the best matcha I've had here. Yeah.
I couldn't help myself, so before heading home, I stopped by Swop. Trust me, I really wanted to buy everything in the store, but I only bought one thing. A lovely structured pair of charcoal Bermuda shorts that I'm currently obsessed with wearing every day. Then I headed back towards the city, through the gardens, to return home to rest before dinner plans I had later that day. Shower. It is 42 degrees out now, and by the time I got home I was covered in sweat, pollen, and dirt from the wind just blowing every which way. I was not exaggerating, it felt more like a desert as I kept walking. So yeah, I would say it's not my favorite temperature, and I'm not really fond of the heat whatsoever, but I didn't want to stay at home all day. I still wanted to get out, but now I am hibernating because it's gotten hotter, and I've just been lounging about doing some editing, and I've made myself a little snack. I had vanilla Greek yogurt, cut up strawberries, and chocolate milk, which is like a mix of healthy and not, which is how I'd sum up my whole entire diet. Like, I have something that's really good for my gut, and then I'll ruin that with a pack of Oreos, which happens too often than not that I eat packs of Oreos, but no one cares. I'm just waiting around right now because I have plans at 7:30 to go to a comedy show at a pub in Collingwood, and I kind of want to get like drinks before that. I'm just waiting till it's like acceptable enough time to get ready. My skin is freaking out for me, and this is like the worst hormonal breakout I've had in a while, so I don't know what to do about that. I got red light therapy, so it could just be a mix of purging with my hormones. And it won't pop. It like has a head, but it won't pop, and it's so deep. I hate pimples like that. I have microneedle pimple patches, but I ran out of my star ones, and the hearts look like blobs, so I don't like to wear them out in public. The star ones are like, you can get away with it, it's cool, but not the heart ones, so I need to buy more. This is a monumental moment. I'm not wearing black anywhere. really struggling this morning. I've been bed rotting. I did not sleep well. I think I got like 3 hours of sleep, and even then it was a really light sleep, which is all my fault because obviously I had like espresso martinis and the caffeine in them kept me up, but usually it doesn't happen. So I don't know if it was maybe just the alcohol mixed with that. I don't know. I haven't been sleeping well the past week because I think my brain just got wired from my cat waking me up like 2 nights in a row. So now it's like, let's wake up at 4 a.m, which I just don't handle minimal sleep. I need at least 8 hours to feel good. So I think I'm going to chill today. Well, I know I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna go grab a coffee, and that I think is the extent to what I'm doing. It's still really hot out, and it's overcast, and it's windy, and I just don't have anything I need to do. So I'm just gonna catch up with stuff at home, do some emails, do some work, do some reading. I kind of want to get at least halfway through my book. I kind of need an everything shower too. I do need to go grocery shopping, and I really want pasta for dinner. So I think I'm gonna make like a tomato garlic pasta. I finally left the house after editing for 2 hours, and I'm going grocery shopping. It's really hard when you live in Melbourne, it's such a food city, to not eat out, and I'm trying to cook more. I still feel like absolute crap, but I'm gonna make pasta like I said. I don't need too much, I have a list. So hopefully I'm in and out because the shopping center's here for me anxiety. I tried to go outside to go work at a cafe, and it is 43 degrees out, and my heart was like pumping so fast that I'm immediately back home. Just vibes. My coffee table got here. So there's actually no coffee table because it's like completely shattered in the box. I don't even know how that happens. Happy Sunday. I've been absolutely on hiatus the past 2 days. I got a flash period. I still have it, which is essentially like a random period that's not actually my period, which is so nice. I've had the worst cramps, plus it was 43 degrees on Friday. I did try to go out to work at a cafe, and I made it to the stoplights, and I turned around and I went home, and I instead ate snacks and watched 40-Year-Old Virgin and slept. And then yesterday I also slept and basically bed rotted, and I needed that because my cramps were so bad, and no level of Panadol obviously works. Yeah, that was me. I mean, what a way to kick off the new year. It's yeah, lies. But it's definitely because I haven't been sleeping very well. I do think I caught up on my lost sleep, which is so good. I feel refreshed. I don't look it, but I do feel better today. And on feeling better, I realized that my house is an absolute pigsty. Doesn't look like it, but like it feels like it. There's dust and the floors are gross, and I need to put away all my laundry. I need to take the rubbish out. I need a vacuum. My like get ready room, the clothes are all over the floor, and everything's just downstairs and it's not in its place. So I'm just gonna basically deep clean my house today, and that is something productive I can do before I'm most likely gonna take another nap. And I also have some filming to do, so I think I'm gonna get ready for that. And then editing, more Great British Bake Off. That's my current show obsession right now. It's so wholesome and happy, and I love it. I get really attached to the characters. I get sad when they go. I'm watching the most recent season. I watched season 15. I'm kind of going backwards. What my Sunday is gonna look like. I have no intention of going outside. It's cold today. It's 16 degrees and cloudy. I have everything I need to make lunch. I'm gonna make a baked chicken breast with broccoli, lots of salt, paprika, pepper, garlic, onion powder. So good, so good. I have problems with my salt intake, and that helps me stay hydrated, which is so random. I don't know why that's the case, but it is. And so when I load my meals up with salt, it makes everything, one, taste better, and two, it's good for me. You know what, I bet you I'll learn in like 3 years time that wasn't researched enough, and it's actually killing me slowly. Because what does anyone know about pots these days, honestly? Doctors are just pulling stuff out of their buttholes. Yeah, that's all I really have to update. I think I ruined the feng shui of the vlog by skipping a few days, but oh well, that's fine. No one's bothered. No one's bothered but me. As you can see, I have arrived back in bed. I did clean my house, and now I'm bedridden once again with terrible cramps. So I might as well take this opportunity to really talk about what the video is kind of surrounded around, which is the new year. And I've been doing a lot of reflecting the past week, and really since I've moved down here, about what my 2025 experience was and what I can take away from that going into this new year of how I want it to look. Obviously I was going to do that regardless, because moving to a new place, like, you kind of reorganize you and your life. I've just been writing on my laptop and kind of looking back, and I really wanted to share my experience with 2025 and some of my resolutions. I know resolutions get a really weird rap, but growing up for me, my mom used to keep like stacks of magazines, and then my dad, mom, and I would cut out things that we wanted our next year to look like, of our dreams and our goals, and we'd make vision boards on these huge poster boards. So I think that kind of stuck with me, that ideal of making resolutions is important. Setting goals for yourself, even if you never reach them, is important, because it gives you something to look at and to strive for. And as someone who's really ambition driven, I need that in my day-to-day. I need something for me to reach for, and that's for me like what gives me that feeling of collectivism. 2025 had always been like a sort of target in my life. Like, I knew it would be the year I'd graduate, and growing up in America, that's a really big deal, because that's like your step into adulthood. You go to university, you really choose what your life's gonna look like. But a lot changed. I obviously moved to Australia in 2021, and even that shifted. Like, I'd always expected to graduate in May of 2025 and then literally begin university in September. And obviously here it's graduate November 2025, so at the end of the year, and you don't start university till the next year. So 2025 kind of lost its significance for me a little bit. Like, obviously I still graduate, but that's never the bit that I was looking forward to. I was really stepping into adulthood. But once I really settled into the Gold Coast and that became my new normal, I wasn't really as bothered by it. But now, kind of looking back, I think all the change that I experienced throughout my whole entire high school life really affected my perception on my final year more than I really thought it did. I spent most of it pretty unhappy, and that doesn't mean that there wasn't good moments, because there was, and I'm going to look back on them fondly. However, the year altogether did not go how I'd ever planned or imagined, and that's okay. I learned a lot of lessons about myself, about what I need from my environment, and I think that's really important that I had that experience right before basically going out into the real world. Part of it was to do with me and my own inner turmoil, but I also have to acknowledge that, yes, the environment I was in, day out, was no help either. I felt really isolated from my peers, and even though I largely put up a facade of indifference, and I feel like that intimidated a lot of people, that I seemed like unbothered, I found it really challenging to be so disconnected when all I wanted was stability and like that familiar feeling of school. That, I mean, anyone wants that in their final year. I acknowledge that high school is not easy for anyone, even if they don't show it, but the perception that surrounded my character really made me adopt this like restrained nature. I really wanted to keep to myself, and even the people that I felt like I could let in, I still had my guard up most of the time. It had a lot of effects. I think because of that, I lost a certain passion for school, which is something that's super vital to me, and consuming knowledge and learning, and just the feeling of like wanting validation as well. But yeah, I really removed myself from class discussions, and I did put in a lot of effort outside of school, but I didn't really care to be myself in a tangible setting, which reflected in my effort, not my grades, but more of like how even my teachers saw me. And on the days that I even felt better, people would seemingly have things to say. Like, they just assumed that I thought I was better than everyone else. And it actually really hurt the way that I viewed my personality and even my intelligence. And I think that was to my own detriment in the end. I spent so much time subduing my whole entire being that I ended up becoming physically ill, spending days in hospital. And yes, there is a medical reason behind this that we now know. I still can't help but wonder if things were to have been better in school, if I would never have been met with what is now like considered a chronic ailment. But yeah, I haven't really acknowledged any of this until I moved down here, that 2025 was nowhere near close to what I'd always dreamed it would be. And I know it's weird to dream of a year looking a certain way, but I feel like that's just the ideals I grew up around. I've seen an almost immediate shift to who I was a month ago to who I am now. Proves I wasn't in the place I needed to be. And like meeting new people, opening my mind to the possibility that my life doesn't have to make sense to anyone but me, I feel like I've really begun to cultivate who I am as a person and what I want out of the next year of my life. And that really brings me to my resolutions for 2026 and what I want to bring into this year that will really help me to grow as a person. I'm not going to go through every single one, but I definitely want to address the first three because I think they're my most important ones. The first one is release the instinct to shrink myself for the comfort of others. And that for me is really releasing the habit of self-erasure in the name of comfort and letting my intelligence take up space, not as arrogance, but as like a quiet assurance, knowing I can be grounded in myself without diminishing anyone else. I think the biggest one for me though is choosing depth over immediacy in what I consume. I seriously fell into the TikTok loop this past year. I don't even want to know my total time spent on that bloody app. Like, it's my nightmare, and I don't get anything out of it. Like, I actually hate myself more for being on it. And yeah, my For You page is like cultivated to look really like educational and like everything that I really enjoy, but it's not healthy for me at all to doom scroll. So I want to let go of that habit. I really want to start immersing myself back into books, films, essays, theory, things that like linger, challenge me, and shape me further, which will be super helpful as I come to university. I'm currently reading Alandra by Jacqueline Hartman, who's the author of I Who Have Never Known Men. Her writing has become super important to me as it incorporates many of my interests in like the theoretical area, but also creates an emotional and thought-provoking story, which is something that I really want to do in my novella that I'm currently working on. And yeah, Alandra's quite different from I've Never Known Men, and I find it better in many ways, actually, because while I Who Have Never Known Men is this feminist TikTok sensation set in a post-apocalyptic world, Alandra's very real. It's set in Brussels in the 90s. It deals with the quite radical idea of androgyny, which essentially just means having traits of both the masculine and the feminine, which it's been super overcomplicated, I think, in the past few years, but it's something we all have. Like, you're not just solely one, you know, but that's my hot take. One of the main characters, Aline, who's like this prim literature professor who each day promises to be as quiet and conventional as she possibly can. She has this double self who's named himself Alandra, and it basically slips between Alandra, who's escaped Aline's body, into this like taut, rugged body of a young man who's interested in men as well. And Aline basically feels half of herself without Alandra, but she's still unaware that she has a double self. And Alandra follows Aline around in her life from an external point of view, and it's basically vowing to leave both of their existence forever altered. And I think it's just so powerful, because as young girls we go through this shift of being fun-loving, tomboyish, not really caring about our appearances, to all of a sudden caring way too much about hair, which is my only example. From cutting my hair off, I find how much people care about hair ridiculous now. Even though I'm trying to grow my hair out, it's hypocritical, but oh well. Of books that I want to read next lined up. And also, other forms of media I'm really wanting to consume is definitely film. I grew up without a TV for a lot of my childhood thanks to my woke parents. I love you guys, but why was that necessary? But I think that I lean more towards books than film, and lost a bit of love for it that is starting to return since moving down here. I've really started this tradition of going to the movies every Monday. One, because the tickets are $10 and that's really cheap for a movie. And also the selection of movies is so different from mainstream cinemas. So far I've seen one battle after another, Die My Love, The History of Sound, and Sentimental Value. I honestly didn't love the first two, but the last two really evoked a desire for me to watch more films, just out of the artfulness of the craft and the storytelling and the writing. And I hate to be that pretentious person who used to think that written writing held more value than spoken words, but I'm really starting to think that spoken words have a lot more to say, because you have the emotions on the face and body language to go with it. My final thing that I really want to start consuming more again is essays and theory. Obviously it's a given, with university right around the corner I'm going to be forced to anyways, but really at the back end of 2024 I was so hungry for more knowledge. Like, I would just read and learn all these new things, but then I just kind of felt flat during 2025, and I think it's because the school system felt so repetitive. You did the same things the year before that you did again, so that I just stopped learning altogether, honestly, and I really want to start that again, and I'm going to, but I want to do it on my own terms. The final resolution that I do want to talk about is becoming intentional about who I am, and that sounds pretty self-explanatory. Instead of just letting things happen around me, I really want things that show up in small everyday ways, to like how I dress, and I really want like a more 90s minimalist style, inspo on my Pinterest if you want to see. Even to like figuring out the music I genuinely love, and it's also about what I cook, how I spend my time, what my days look like when no one's watching. I want to be more thoughtful about the people I keep close and the work I give my energy to, choosing things that feel aligned rather than convenient. it's just like building my life with care now that I finally have a chance to. I think it's important to learn who I am, but also cultivate who I am, because who said that I just have to become something without having a say in it? That's my thoughts. I have a great amount of goals for this year. And I think that's pretty standard. My big ones are growing my YouTube in a way that feels sustainable, which is really just posting consistently, refining my style, and not really trying to force it. And then obviously writing my novella, which is coming along slowly but surely. Writing a book's always been a goal of mine, and now I finally feel like I have the time to do it, especially before university starts. And I don't know if I'll publish it, but I definitely want to write it and just have it in the bag for one day. Maybe I can go back and edit it or publish it. Maybe I will publish it. I don't know. So I think I realized how much I crave a community and a strong inner circle. Not like a huge group of people, but friendships that feel safe and genuine and mutual. And what's so beautiful is that's already really starting to become a reality. And I think just working on that is a goal that's really come up for me. I also want to be university driven in a way that feels curious rather than overwhelming. Staying engaged, showing up, obviously getting good grades. That's a given for me. Maybe honor roll? I don't know. And then staying in shape. With my health being always deteriorating, I need a routine that feels sustainable but also kind on my body. For me, that means like moving consistently, actually enjoying the workout or slow movement that I'm doing. If I don't enjoy it, I'm just not going to do it. So I need to really find something that works for me so that I can feel strong and well rather than always feeling like my body's about to drift off from one big gust of wind. Yeah, that's my tangent while I lie in bed that I just wanted to share, because I think it's important to share your goals and your dreams and your resolutions with other people, because then they can also help you achieve that, and then they also know the space that you're in, and keeping your experiences to yourself, and I've learned this the hard way, is not healthy. I've gained nothing from isolating myself. If anything, it's just made me feel less than a person.